began with a gunshot, one that echoed through quiet suburbs just after midnight. When police arrived at the small brick house on Willow Street, they found Detective Mark Hensley, 38 years old, dead in his study, a single bullet wound ahead, his service weapon lying beside him. His colleagues called it tragedy. His superiors called it a suicide. But his wife, Claire, called it impossible, because she knew her husband better than anyone, and something about the story didn't add up. Mark Hensley had served on the force for nearly 15 years. He was respected, disciplined, and known for his honesty. The kind of cop who played everything by the book, even when it made him enemies. In the weeks before his death, Claire noticed a change in him. He'd been quieter, distracted, often coming home late with tired eyes and a haunted look. When she asked what was wrong, he brushed it off. Just work, he'd say. But that work would turn out to be far more dangerous than either of them realized. According to police records, Mark had been investigating internal corruption, a case that went deep inside his own department. He had told a close friend that he'd uncovered something big, something that could end careers. Then, days later, he was gone. The official report stated he took his own life. No signs of struggle, no forced entry. But Claire noticed the inconsistencies almost immediately. The gun, his service pistol, was found in his right hand, but Mark was left-handed. The suicide note found on his desk was typed, not handwritten, and his computer, where he kept his case files, had been wiped clean. When she brought these details to the department, she was told she was grieving and seeing patterns that weren't there. But Claire wasn't the kind of woman to let things go, so she started her own investigation. She went through Mark's notebooks, old phone records, and his private safe, the one he'd told her never to touch. Inside, she found something that made her blood run cold. A USB drive labeled for Claire, if anything happens. The drive contained audio recordings, hours of Mark speaking into his phone. He talked about the case, the officers he didn't trust, and the evidence he'd gathered. But near the end of the recordings, his tone changed. He mentioned being followed. He said his calls were being intercepted. And in his last recording, made just 2 days before his death, he whispered, "If you're hearing this, it means they got me first." That was all Claire needed. With the help of one of Mark's old friends, a retired detective named Sam Dwyer, she began retracing her husband's final steps. They uncovered a disturbing pattern. Several unsolved cases connected to one particular precinct division. Evidence had gone missing, witnesses had recanted, and large sums of cash had quietly disappeared from the evidence room. At the center of it all was Captain Ronald Briggs, Mark's commanding officer. Mark had apparently discovered that Briggs and 2 other officers were running an off-the-books operation, skimming drug money from busts and making evidence vanish. Mark had been gathering